Weird Balatro is back, and as always, we're taking a closer look at some game mechanics that can be pretty strange. Today we're looking at two different categories, skip tags and vouchers, and it turns out there's a lot going on the game just doesn't tell you. And if you'd like to see more mechanics, you can check out the entire Weird Balatro playlist on my channel and hit subscribe so you don't miss any new ones. Now let's get into the video. Every small and big blind in the game can be skipped, and doing so will reward you with one of these tags. One of the harsh truths in Balatro is that for optimal play, skip tags are rarely ever worth taking. But optimal is not always interesting, so let's ignore all that and look at them anyway. There are 24 skip tags in the game, which all have an equal chance to appear and can appear multiple times in the same run. But only 19 tags are available when you start the game on a fresh profile. 5 skip tags actually have an unlock requirement. Negative, foil, holographic, and polychrome tags will not show up until you discover a card with that addition first. And the rare tag will not appear until you discover Blueprint, which you have to unlock first by winning one run. All of these unlock conditions will be met very quickly by just playing the game, so you may not have even noticed that they are restricted, especially because the game doesn't tell you that anywhere. The game also never tells you that some skip tags have a minimum ante requirement. These 9 tags can only appear starting in ante 2. Other than that, the way skip tags work is pretty straightforward, but there are a couple weird exceptions to note. The boss reroll tag has a strange interaction with the Director's Cut voucher. Director's Cut lets you pay $10 to reroll the boss, but this can only be done once per ante. Well, if you have Director's Cut and use a boss reroll skip tag, that consumes the one reroll per ante you are allowed, and you will not be able to use Director's Cut afterwards. You can do this in the opposite order instead, and get a chance to reroll the boss twice. Every Joker that appears in the shop naturally has a chance to come with an addition: foil, holographic, polychrome, or negative. The skip tags, which give a free Joker with a certain addition, apply to the next Joker that appears in the shop, which does not already have an addition naturally. This means the tag may not go off in the next shop if no Jokers appear, unless you reroll for one, and it also means that a Joker that naturally happens to have an addition may cut in line before this tag goes off, and the tag will be saved for the next Joker that appears. Uncommon and rare Joker tags work slightly differently. These generate an extra Joker that is inserted into the front of the shop queue, so one will always show up immediately in the first available shop slot. If you also have an addition tag, these can combine to put an addition on the Joker from the rarity tag. This will happen no matter what order you combine the tags in. Whether the rarity or addition tag is first, the rarity will go off to spawn an extra Joker, and then the addition tag will apply to that Joker. The D6 tag makes rerolls in the next shop start at $0. The price of rerolls will still increase by 1 every time you roll. This has a weird interaction with the reroll vouchers, which reduce the cost of rerolls by $2 each. If you start rolling from 0 with the D6 tag, and then buy the reroll voucher, it initially lowers the cost by $2, but then the cost of the next reroll jumps back up by $3. What a ripoff. Normally, 1 voucher spawns per ante, and that voucher stays in the shop for the whole ante. But the voucher tag will add an additional voucher to the next shop, but only the next shop. The extra voucher, or extra vouchers if you stock multiple of these tags, will not carry over to later shops in the same ante, just the one next shop. Juggle tag gives you +3 hand size during the next round. Normally, in Balatro, if you manage to reduce your hand size to 0, you will instantly lose the game as soon as you try to play the next round. But the +3 hand size from Juggle tag can stop you from losing this way, or at least it can for one more round. Speed tag gives you $5 for each blind you've skipped during the run so far. Luckily, this includes itself when counting the blinds you've skipped, so you will never see this at $0, it will always be at least 5. Orbital tag selects a hand type randomly, and then gives you +3 levels in that hand if taken. This interacts with the secret hand types the same way that things like To-Do List and the Planet cards do. They will never select one of the secret hands until you play that hand once during the current run, at which point it is unlocked, and then it can be randomly selected. Economy tag doubles your money up to a max of $40. When you have negative money, this will not double anything, but instead give you plus $0, which is the same way the tarot card Hermit works when you have negative money. Double tag is a skip that does nothing when you first take it. It just sits there until you take another skip tag, and then becomes a copy of it. There's no limit to how many double tags you can stack before you finally use them on something, and if you play the Anaglyph deck, you will get into this situation a lot, where you are cashing in 10 copies of the same tag all at once, which always makes for an interesting experience. Investment tag gives you $25 when you defeat the next boss blind. It says defeat, which made me wonder, does it still work if you lose to the boss but are saved by Mr. Bones? And it does work. I guess you defeated it as a team, which makes sense, but sometimes the specific word choice on a card just brings up some interesting questions. Like Mr. Bones, for instance, says that he prevents death. Does this mean that canonically, when you lose a run, you die? I thought this was just a card game. I didn't realize my life was on the line. Now let's look at some voucher weirdness. Clearance sale and liquidation decrease the cost of cards and booster packs in the shop. The discounts from these vouchers will round prices in a way known as half down, meaning something costing $1.5 will round down to 1. This means that in practice, you get a bigger discount than the 25% advertised. Not everything in Balatro rounds the same way. Plasma Deck will also round half down when balancing chips and mult, but the Flint will round half up when decreasing your base hand score. Clearance sale and liquidation actually have another effect that the game doesn't tell you about. Besides discounting the cost of cards and packs in the shop, these vouchers will also lower the sell value of your jokers, which can have anti-synergy with things like Swashbuckler and Temperance. These vouchers will also lower the sell value of cards in your consumable slots. The sell value of a joker or consumable card is equal to half of its cost, and this is also rounded half down. So Tarot and Planet cards, which cost $3 by default, will have a sell value of $1.5, which rounds down to 1. Spectral cards cost $4, and so they sell for $2. But once I redeem the clearance sale voucher, the cost of this spectral card falls to $3, so its sell value drops to $1.5, which again rounds down to 1. There is an exception to note here. Any sell value increase that comes from the effects of gift card or egg will not be subject to the clearance sale and liquidation discount. The base sell value of the cards will still decrease, but not any of the added value that has been accumulated this way. That's why the sell value of this egg only goes down by $1 when clearance sale is purchased. Seed money and money tree increase the maximum interest you can earn per round. Interest in Balatro is earned as $1 at the end of the round for every $5 you are holding. Normally, the maximum cutoff is $5 interest for your first $25. Seed money raises that cap to $10 interest on your first $50, and Money Tree raises it to a $20 cap on your first $100. These vouchers have a massive synergy with To the Moon, because this joker essentially just doubles the interest you earn per round. That means with Money Tree, To the Moon, and $100, you will be making $40 interest per round. But wait, we also have a scam alert. If you're playing on green deck, you will earn no interest. That's just how the green deck works. The interest mechanic is turned off. Nevertheless, Seed Money, Money Tree, and To the Moon can all appear in the shop on green deck, but if taken, will do absolutely nothing. Overstock and Overstock Plus, which give you extra slots in the shop, will refill all empty slots when purchased. So if you want to buy these, you can take advantage and use this as a free mini reroll. The Telescope voucher guarantees Celestial packs will contain the planet of your most played hand, but it doesn't tell you how it deals with having multiple hands tied as your most played. Well, it turns out it chooses the higher ranked poker hand, meaning whatever hand is higher on this list. Hieroglyph and Petroglyph vouchers will send you back down by 1 ante. You can buy Hieroglyph in ante 1 and go back to ante 0, where the blinds are 100, 150, and 200 chips. If you use one of these vouchers in ante 8, you will go back to ante 7, but you will still be facing one of the ante 8 finisher boss blinds. However, if you re-roll the boss here, it will go back to a normal boss blind. If you do the same thing in ante 9, you will be facing a normal boss blind in ante 8, but if you re-roll, you will now get a finisher boss blind. Many people have wondered, is it possible to take both vouchers and get to ante -1? And the answer was always no. There's just no way to get Petroglyph in ante 0, so it's not possible to reach ante -1. Except it turns out there actually is a way. The reason this is possible is because there is a delay between when you enter the shop and when skip tags that affect the shop will go off. If you turn down the game speed, this delay is enough time to purchase a voucher just before the voucher skip tag goes off and spawns a second voucher. If you do this, it becomes possible to buy a level 1 voucher and then immediately spawn the level 2 version of that voucher. The odds of rolling that exact voucher are pretty low, but it is possible. So if you find a seed where Hieroglyph and Petroglyph are the first 2 vouchers in the queue, you can redeem them both in the shop for the ante 1 big blind and be sent back to ante -1. As far as I can tell, ante -1 is functionally identical to ante 0. It has the same size blinds, and when you beat it, you advance back up to ante 0. I also did some experimenting with this same trick to see if it worked on other skip tags that go off when you enter the shop. With the D6 tag, the delay is just enough time to pay $5 for a reroll before it gets discounted to 0. I'm gonna count this one as a scam, even though it's really just you scamming yourself. You can also waste money like this with the coupon tag, which sets the cost of shop items, except for the voucher, to 0. If you're fast enough, you can pay full price for a booster pack before the coupon applies. I guess you should have read the small print. You can't do this with anything in the upper part of the shop though. None of the cards that appear here are actually purchasable until this shop delay is over, so you can't do any funny business with any of the Joker tags either. There are several other vouchers that have some pretty interesting things going on that I'd like to talk about, but I'll cover that more in my next video. So make sure you hit subscribe if you don't want to miss when that video drops.